In this video, we'll take a look at the Shared Styles editor, which is a visual library of reusable style patterns. So anytime you need to create a class which is applied to multiple components, you can just do it into this application and then come back later on if you need to copy the class name. So when you first launch this application, you will already find some style examples. We have a hover elevate class, which is used to elevate the element on hover by increasing the box shadow. We also have a hover scale and a hover reduce opacity. And then we have a text style example. You can obviously create your own styles. For example, I'm going to create a hover reduce shadow class. And here is my element. And now I can just set a starting shadow of LG transition. And then on hover, I'm going to reduce the shadow to medium and save. Then I'm going to create a text style. So I'm going to call this label 1. And I'm going to target, remove the hover selection, change the color to a contrast medium. And then in the typography section, I'm just going to set a transform uppercase letter spacing of 0.1 em and save. Now, as you can see, we can either create behavioral styles, meaning classes and style that do something when an event occurs. For example, something that happens on hover or a focus effect, for example. But you can also create some standard styles. And when you check the code that is generated by this application, as you can see, this is just a list of classes. You can then copy the SCSS and then paste it into your project based on CodeFrame. Now in CodeFrame, you will have a shared styles global. We use this file to store the style that is shared across multiple components. For example, to set a scale of radius values or box shadow values. And these values are commented out because we already have default values, but you can change them just by removing the comments and changing these values. And then right below, we have the area where you have to paste the code generated by the shared style editor. Right in between the comments, I'm going to paste this code here. Now, first of all, I want to apply the shadow reduction effect on these images here. So I can just go to my element. The name of the class is hover reduce shadow. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to find these images. And I'm going to paste the class name. Now, if we check the demo, you can notice now there is a shadow applied to these elements here. And when you mouse over the image, the shadow reduces in intensity. So we have this nice hover effect, and we can use it on this element or any other element. Now, we have also created a text style, and the class name is label 1. So let me copy this class name here. And let's apply this style to the category labels here and also the column headers. Okay, so let's go back to the code. And first of all, we need to look for the category labels and apply the class name and save. Now, as you can see, we have a new style for these labels. Now we can go and look for the column headers of the table. And here we have our elements. And we can apply the same class name. We also want to apply a text XS utility class from CodeFrame. And so we have the new header style applied. Now notice that in order for me to change the text size using the text utility classes, I haven't set any text value, any text font size value in the shared styles. In the label 1 class, we don't have any font size applied. That's because if you want to change something using utility classes, you just don't have to set it in the shared style. Otherwise, the shared style will overwrite the utility class. Now you know all about the shared styles editor. Now you can go ahead and create your own library of reusable styles.